story.
Okay. Fine, go.
Welcome to the Ramblecast. It's a little late. We're coming to you with some technical problems. It was like a Jeopardy problem, and we all failed the course somehow.
Well, I think one of us did.
No, I think one main person failed.
I'm still here, and I can hear you.
Yeah.
It wasn't me.
I did what I was supposed to. I clicked on the link and just saw
Same.
black.
Same.
I was here to cover Jack's duties.
Duties?
And,
You said duties.
I did.
If
say
you
duties.
see black, it's probably because of Jack.
Jack, have you shared this link with everyone that is
I'm
waiting?
going
in
there
the
right now.
Okay, all right. Sorry, I don't mean to
Good
be
evening, gentlemen.
backseat driving. Good evening.
Nick, welcome back to the land of single syllables.
Oh, wait. I got it.
Single syllables, grunts.
Yeah, Kuala Lumpur, blah, 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 blah. Like, it's just all over the place.
United
All
States.
right.
Wow.
Shit.
Wow.
Well, yeah.
Kuala Lumpur from.
All right, let me go back to that other link.
It's a good thing that the listeners weren't here for that one, Chris.
Why?
I don't know. It just seemed a little, you know.
Polysyllabic? Sorry.
You want to take your stab at French as well?
No.
We were both like half of this
Oh, that's
show.
right. You're in France and shit. Yeah. welcome back
Half
to
of
the
this
United
show was
States.
basically in another country for a hot minute. So
Yeah. How was your time in your respective foreign lands?
respective foreign lands were good. It was fun.
It was hot as balls.
Not hot where I was at. Perfect weather. So
Like perfect, like balls sticking on the
Did
side
you
of your leg.
Tom
hot.
Cruise?
what?
Did you see Tom Cruise?
I didn't know.
In his
What-
balls?
Did Matt?
Where is he at?
Tom Cruise was filming Mission Impossible 6 in Paris while you were there.
Oh.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
Well, didn't see Tom Cruise. So
You could have been an extra.
I saw a lot of Olympic stuff. They were getting ready for the Olympics, so it was very, very.
Oh, that's right. The Olympic. It's the Summer Olympics, right? They're gonna be there.
Nick,
Yes, the
you have a song to start out this show. I
Too
mean,
late
we're,
now.
We're bearing
already
the
in the
lead.
throes of it. Yeah.
Are you sure?
I
Nick
can't.
went further. Nick went further away than I did. Nick, how long was your flight? And are you still tired?
Denver to Tokyo is 12 hours, and then
Shit.
Tokyo to Kuala Lumpur is 8.
What the fuck?
So that's 2.
So it's
and
as
then-
long as getting this show started.
Yeah.
It's
pretty long.
nearly. I mean, you know.
And then the way back is quicker because of the jet stream. So it's like
Okay.
7 from Kuala Lumpur to Tokyo, and then 10
Mhm.
from Tokyo to Denver.
Whoa. Okay. Wow.
wow.
Shaving off so much.
Did
there.
you fly over the North Pole or did you go?
No, like what you do, like I can send you guys like the actual flight path. You know, it's crazy
Yeah.
to me how you go north,
illegal
you go
to do that.
south. You know,
Yeah.
but like no, I actually the line you take from Denver to Tokyo is you basically just skirt the entire southern part of Alaska. You just go
Hashtag me too.
That's
you go
pretty
all
cool.
you go all the way, all the way through BC, and then you just basically panhandle all the way over Anchorage through the little, archipelago there, and then down
That's
to
what she
Tokyo,
calls it.
and then it's just a straight shot down. It's
That's
crazy,
cool. Right on.
but it was nice. I was in premium economy, so it's a lot roomier seat because I'd go nuts if I was in economy that long.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't go.
Yeah,
I mean, I did. Ours was 8 hours, and that was the long stretch. But we went through Charlotte, and that place is a crapshoot. Like, I don't know what the odds are if you're going through Charlotte, but you're gonna get fucked some way, like somehow. Like, so just plan on it. That's
That's
how
what
I feel about
Charlotte's good for.
Getting
Oh, yeah.
fucked.
I'm
Worst fan
serious.
base in the world.
I've flown through there. It sounds bougie, but I've flown there at least twice in the last year because we went through there for Orlando. At least both times flying through, at least one time something
got
goes
fucked.
sideways. Yep. Yeah, you get fucked.
Mm.
So, and there's no concourse
Fucking
after there,
Charlotte.
but there should be. There should be. But no, that's a long flight, Nick, because we did the 8 and I think it was 9 coming back, and it was just like, oh my gosh, this like getting up and just stretching or.
It's amazing to me though. Like, the more I fly, the more I just get used to it. So like, I don't, even though it's 20 hours in the air, you're kind of like, after a few hours, you're kind of numb to it, and you just kind of, me, like what I tend to do is I'll eat the first meal. I'll stay awake, eat the first meal, and then I'll take 20 milligrams of melatonin, which is a shit ton. And
that is a shit ton. Because I usually just do 1 or 5.
I take that every night.
I take a crap ton, and basically it puts me like in a zombie kind of state to where I'm not fully asleep, but and I just kind of. And then I either put on a gigantic playlist of Pink Floyd or Simon and Garfunkel, and then just let it go. And I just zone out for all that entire playlist, and then I'll wake up. And I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably have a glass of water now. And then I'll go back to sleep, and I end up sleeping the majority of the time.
That's a good plan. I mean, I'm sure that's why a lot of people take Ambien, and then they get a drink on a plane, and then they're like really fucking popped. And
I can't sleep.
Start seeing lizard people in the back of the boat and stuff. And
I can't either, Chris. I envy people that can sit up, or like do the head things, and sleep. But like what I do is I tend to. One thing that's great is that if you're in economy, you get the crappy tray, that just comes down from the back. But in the premium economy, you get the ones that come out of the armrest.
Those are sweet.
Oh yeah,
those
nice.
Slide forward, or back or closer. You can put them kind of whatever. So I tend to push them as far away from me as possible. Then I also have the blanket they give me, the pillow they give me. I bring an inflatable tube. And then I just pile it up, and I just lean forward.
Yeah. Sometimes I have to lean forward. Sometimes I do the back thing.
See, I have a hard time sleeping. I mean, I've used a CPAP machine for like the better part of 7 years now, and like I fucking swear by that thing. I love that machine. Like I won't sleep without it.
Welcome to the machine.
And you can't really plug in a CPAP machine on a plane.
That was our opener.
But if I could, I would. But
yeah,
I know.
You need a CPAP machine that looks like Darth Vader's mask, basically. Like they need to. I'm telling you, as our generation ages, look, there's opportunities for Disney to milk this
my generation is already aged, so there's that. I know I fell asleep one time, and I always get the aisle seat, and I was I guess leaning in the aisle, and the flight attendant just clocked me just said screw it, bam into I was like, oh,
ours were like always like
you were in the aisle.
Came through,
I go,
and they said they would come through it. Yeah, no, my flight, because I took the aisle, and I have broad shoulders, so it's just like there's just times, fortunately the flight back I really lucked out, and the seat right next to me, because I had an aisle, and it's it's 4 deep. It's one of those 3, then 4, then 3.
It's a nice plane.
So the seat next to me was open, so it was like, oh, all of this extra room here, like so.
Your kids are like, can I sit next to you, Dad? You're like, fuck you.
You got the aisle with Mom. That's why you got the fucking window seat. Live it up.
We came back from Alaska and from San Francisco to Raleigh, and we had nobody sitting in our rows.
Ooh.
Now Cindy was able to go to sleep. I took everything off, and I couldn't go to sleep. Well, yeah, I did. That's what I used to do when I'm going to sleep. But no, I still couldn't sleep. I'm watching movie after movie, and I was like, God, I'm feeling like shit. And that's when I had COVID, didn't know it.
Oh.
And I'm like, going, God,
spreading it to everybody too.
I'm just half. I just wanted to come home, go to sleep, and we had a birthday party.
You're the super spreader on a plane.
I was going on everyone.
This is the first time Jack's actually talked about it. He's kind of
know, seriously.
Past that,
he's like, yeah, what's the statute of limitations on passing COVID on a plane here?
Well, I wouldn't have got on the plane if I knew I had it.
Sure. But we
weren't even wearing masks at that point. I don't think. Were we?
I don't know. It was like 2022.
No, it was last year. So I think masks
yeah.
That's I know I told you that. That's what made me laugh in 2022 when I went to the Philippines, and they were so in the airport, so strict. Like, remember, this flight is so many hours, and you have to wear your mask the entire flight.
Jeez.
And I remember having mine on for like the first hour, and then all of a sudden I turned around. Like, I was in the front row of economy. I turned around, everyone had their masks off, and I was like, "Well, I guess they're with that rule."
You forget. Someone was arguing that it was safer to be on a plane with COVID than anywhere else. I'm like going, recycling. I go, how's that possible?
And the Earth is flat too.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get that. It was a Twitter war. People.
I will say, I know, never go into the comments section on X or sex. But one other thing though, I took your guys's. I had started Franklin, but I hadn't finished Franklin because of all of the French. And after being in Paris, I was like, this is the perfect time. So I binged the rest of Franklin on my way back home. Thank you, Chris, for calling me out as Temple as I was on my way over. What? I was like, what are you talking about? I hadn't watched Franklin in probably a couple weeks, so it wasn't on my brain, but really loved the show and watching it, after being there and listening to the language and, and seeing the architecture, it was, very spot on. That part held up because you see the detail and just the history of, everything that they shot.
When you landed in France and were riding your carriage,
yes,
were people cheering for you?
They did. They said, "Hey, you're the everyday inventor that made electricity." They thought that, and I said, "Yes, it is me. I've returned."
I figured you'd be famous for the guy who made paper out of dolphins.
Ah, yes. Well, there's that.
That is all.
I tried to bury that lead. It was. I don't know about you, Nick. Like how fluent you are with the language of where you went.
Come see.
Oh God, Malay? No.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, the thing that's great about a lot of the world is that English is kind of the official language of the world,
especially for people that are in service, apparently.
Yeah. Well, so Malaysia, which I did not know, was actually a British colony. I knew that other places in Asia was. Exactly. You always forget about Malaysia. Singapore was part of Malaysia, but Singapore kind of had its own thing going. But yeah, it's their second language behind Malay, and so most people. There was only one person that tried to speak English with me that I was like, I have no idea what you're saying.
Oh,
but everyone else though was very fluent, very.
It's like when people from England say, "Oh, we stopped slavery long before you guys did." I go, "Well, yeah, but you had countries like India, stuff like that, who were basically slaves."
Read between the lines. We already made our gold on slavery by the time you guys dabbled.
We took all the money out of the country.
Basically, and also
with nothing. But you know what?
Yeah, also very turning a blind eye at what they were doing to India. But empires be empires. It was really cool watching Franklin after seeing all of the beauty of Paris and just that old history, and then
strange that people are still wearing the wigs and all.
Oh yeah, well
the talcum powder on their face.
So we were very close to the Louvre. We stayed at Hotel de Louvre, and it was right next to the Louvre, which was great because you just kind of walked out and you're right there. And
that's a big square. Yeah,
it's huge. And I became kind of fascinated with the history of the building. And so that was one of the books that I got at the museum. There was a kind of a history. And then I, of course, you just get into the history of the kings and the different, the history of France. And then you're kind of and then watching Franklin, of course, and then kind of putting that in together with their monarchy and eventually their fall of it. So you stayed next to the Louvre.
Oh man,
which one?
Great.
Yeah, there were some streets of Paris where you're like,
did you go up the Eiffel Tower?
We went on the boat tour along the Seine there. Which was a nice way to see the Eiffel Tower without the crowds because we were already, it's like, we could have.
Did you have to pay to use a bathroom? Because France.
No,
that's all.
Nope.
Yeah.
And every cafe we went to, we were able to use the bathroom.
No, I'm saying
if you're in a place,
if you're in public ones, because around the Louvre.
It's usually
the
automatic bathroom is the one that clean themselves. You gotta pay for.
No, we didn't have to use any of those.
Because I use one, and the guy goes, no, you got to come use this one. Come use this one. And I go, and I go,
so you follow the man to the bathroom.
Well, I did, but it turned out to be, it was like on a throne.
Did you do the foot tap thing?
It had like a waterfall going into a fountain, and I'm like going, God, I may never want to leave this place. It was huge,
right? Well, apparently, based
For
on
50 cents, not bad.
The show Franklin, you can just piss on walls there. So
yeah,
and funnily enough,
that's like San Diego now.
As we're on the boat tour, because you go past the Eiffel Tower and then eventually you make your way around Notre Dame, right? And as we're coming around the second island there, what's up?
Have they finished?
Yeah, they're very close. She said that it's like been a 5-year project, but they had this really cool billboard.
She said that she was close.
That was our tour guide. She was anyway. As we come around this area, it was really funny because she was just like, "Oh, this area is the very kind of rich area of Paris. These houses go for 20,000 so much or whatever." And right there on the banks, there's this guy just pissing in the woods right there, and we're just like, and my wife had seen it and like started to laugh, and then this other lady like noticed it. And then, of course, the tour guide was like, every time. So it was just kind of this funny, like, inside joke that it's just like every time, like there's this.
You can come sit on my deck and watch the golfers piss on.
That's it.
And sometimes it's women. So you sit there and go,
Lou de Jack.
Wow.
Because my mom will go, we can see you. I go, Mom, just let it go. It's no big deal. And there's a bathroom at the next hole. I mean, there's like a bathroom, but they all got to relieve them. I said, it's the fourth tee. How much beer have you consumed before?
A lot.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, on the fourth tee, that you should have had at least 3 to 4 beers in you at that point.
I guess they have. And it's funny. It's not just our house. It's the houses across on the other side of the thing. And
I can honestly count on one hand how many times I've pissed in a bathroom at a golf course. And I would never be able to count the amount of times I pissed in the woods at a golf course.
Well, some don't even try. Wait, hold on a second. Some don't even try to go to the equation. They literally just go where the golf cart path is.
Yeah,
walk about 2 feet, just pee. And I'm like going, you couldn't go a little further. You couldn't go a little further behind the trees.
Let it rip.
All right. All right. Okay.
There were free toilets in the park that we went to. We went to this they call it a jardin, like a garden, jardin, I think we went to the Jardin de Luxembourg, which was in a different part of France. Anyway, Jack, you were right. It is kind of like New York, except older. Mm-hmm. So, but the buildings,
finish, Chris.
We get it, Randy. We get it.
Sorry, for those who are listening at home, what you aren't seeing is all the people in the chat commenting on how many times I've yawned. It's not because of the content of the story. It's because I'm fucking exhausted.
What are you trying to say, Chris?
You're tired?
I'm tired.
Well,
we'll keep this short tonight. How's that?
Yeah. Nick, are you recovered from your jet lag?
Yes and no.
Are you recovered from your jack off session? That's what he was.
He said world record. You jacked off the entire
flight.
Didn't come.
I don't know why I had a row all to myself. But that tray kept getting in the way.
Seat fully reclined.
Oh, fuck.
One of these days, I'm going to do the first class across the pond.
Oh, the sleeper pods. Those things are so damn expensive.
I hate they make you walk by them too.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It's like see what you're not getting.
It would have been like $12,000, I think, dollars if I'd have done round trip sleeper pods.
Oh my god!
I think it's worth it. You get free drinks.
12 grand.
If here to put it into perspective, like the family of 4 of us, we went over to France, right? So, and the flight tickets that we had, if one of us had decided to go, we could have gone like first class the whole way,
right? The
same as 4 of us. So that's
how much was first class?
It's a lot. Yeah,
it was a lot. I thought it was like
they don't even really call it that anymore now. Like first class is now considered business class.
Yeah,
and then you have premium economy, which used to be business class, and then now you have just economy, premium economy, and business class. That's all you have. which is weird because like
oh my god, Randy is right. You walk past those pods and I'm like, you guys are heathens. Oh, yeah. In fact, as you go like up the chain, like so the more people have spent it, the dirtier it is.
Is there a party going? I didn't hear a party.
It's like so
cans or shit everywhere.
People have written on the walls like primal inscriptions with their feces.
Right. So I mean, like with all 4 flights, I'm given a custom blanket, a custom pillow, I get a
custom sock.
Custom sock.
Lots of socks. Very comfortable socks. No, you do though. You get
sock it
socks,
to me. It's called a sock it to me.
Full. I need another one.
I probably got one here.
And for those that want the extra experience that comes with eyes, you choose.
So you always get
emerald green. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you always get one of these, and at every flight, and then when you open it up,
he's showing us his sock.
It does have a pair of socks.
Oh my god!
Yes. Earplugs
and a flesh pocket.
Are those you wash those out, right?
Sleep mask. Yeah. Soft tissues.
You're right.
Clean up your mess.
See here. A TheraFace. To clean your facial.
I like that.
And then the last thing in here is a dental kit.
A dental dam?
What? Clean yourself up.
And then, of course,
from all of us to you, clean yourself up, you
fuckers.
Wow! So you can walk around the cabin in your slippers.
And that's amazing. So yes, you go to the bathroom, you have to step in other people's piss and urine.
Well, I saw somebody in economy without shoes on, wearing socks on the, and I'm just like, come on, bozo, what is this? What
that's the sock is for, bud.
But I was saying, like that's the free shit that we get in premium economy, and there's no telling what you get when you're up in first class.
I've flown first class to mess.
I don't even have to do it in the sleeper pods. They just come by and just, hey, it's been 30 minutes, buddy. Like,
yeah, it used to be standard in the 80s.
It's around 2.
Yeah, you're not asleep yet. Let me relax you a little bit.
Yeah, flying first class is the way to go if you can afford it.
Yeah, if you can afford it.
Yeah.
And and the thing is that if I was a little bit more on my status, if they have any of them free, they'll just bump you up to it. But I'm never on that list. I should be close to gold status. I probably will make it by the end of the year. But
we used to fly a lot of
platinum,
a lot of United flights, and we would get
that's fine
because we would pay extra to go to business. And that got us more points. And then sometimes it's like first class, it was like $70. I go, let's do it.
Right.
Yeah.
When I injured when my back went out in San Diego, I could barely walk. Cindy got me first class. So because I wouldn't have to walk so far in the plane, stuff like that. And the guy was just bringing me, I go, I'm not an alcoholic. I go, my back is just really killing. He goes, I knew there was something wrong with you. He just said, don't worry, just keep it. I'll keep them coming. I was like, I think I had like 10 drinks. It's like,
nice.
But they were free because it was first class. And they give you a hot towel, and a nice meal.
I still feel guilty sometimes. That's what's crazy is like, you've grown up never having that privilege is that when you're sitting up there and you kind of feel like you don't belong. And then everyone around you is ordering like free beer and champagne. And you're like, wait a minute, you're going to give me a beer for free? Really? It's like,
I'll tell you how
the cattle car.
But apparently,
I'll tell you how bad I feel. I go back. I'm the one that goes up. The passenger goes up and puts that little curtain closes.
Right. Oh, definitely. Screw you. That's what will piss me off is because there's 2 sections for the first class super pods.
Right.
And the premium economy, the nearest bathroom is actually in the first class. And by law, you're not supposed to. Any passenger should be allowed to use any bathroom they want.
No, I don't want the.
They will do that. They'll throw the curtains up there saying this is for first class only. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're breaking the law here, buddy. You're making me have to walk all the way back in the back with the cattle.
Listen, if I'm spending $12,000 on a flight, I don't want to commingle my piss with the peons in the back.
Exactly.
They
Especially
can go
people
fucking
who
fuck
think
off.
that slippers are going to protect them from getting pee on them.
Sure.
Get your fucking coach piss out of my bathroom.
There's no piss on these. You're already frozen.
That's where Matt knows
early in the show.
That's where Matt knows that the Colt McCoy story.
Oh, right.
Was drafted by the Browns. Oh man,
you're frozen, Jack.
I know I'm all frozen. I'll be back in a second.
But he basically he was on a flight with Jack, and Jack used the bathroom after him, and he had peed all over the place. Right? He didn't clean it.
Well,
he peed on.
I was
lift the seat.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was in business class, the first row in business class. He was in first class. He got up to pee. He was the first one to get up to pee. I went and got after him, and I'm sitting like waiting for him to get out. And I'm breaking the rules, but I said, I'm not walking all the way to the back. I go, Jesus, Colt McCoy, you can't lift up the toilet seat to pee? Jesus Christ.
And clearly couldn't aim with his dick or his hand.
No. Yeah.
Oh, man. Let me tell you.
He was not a straight shooter.
Chris would have been thrilled at the bathroom. And so, like, basically, I flew United the whole way. But once you get to Japan, down to Malaysia, you're flying ANA, which is a partner of United. And it's Japanese. And you know how Japanese had, like, the best toilets ever?
Yeah.
So they had, the Japanese toilets in the plane.
Ooh, really?
And so, like, when you're sitting there, you know, it's not the shitty American toilets where, like, it's just... You know, and all the like,
the loudest noise feels like the
here's
plane
a piece
crashing.
Of cardboard. And
I was doing my business, and I look forward.
Did you have your slippers on?
I had my slippers on, yeah.
All right.
But I'm looking forward, and I'm like, there's a lot of knobs. Like, what are these knobs? And sure enough, it was a fucking bidet in the airplane. In the airplane, I was like, oh! And it was not just a standard like turn it on. It was like, do you want a wide spread? Do you want a narrow spread?
Oh yeah.
It was like, do you want?
And people were already.
You could adjust the pressure. You could do all that. I was like, damn, this thing is fancy.
And people were already pissed because they saw you walk in with your socks.
Oh yeah.
Well, then you were taking forever too. It was just like, come on, like hurry it up. Bidet the shit out of that ass. Like we need to also use the cam.
Did you what did you do? Go wide or did you just
that is really cool. I'll have to tell my wife about that. She'll be excited about the bidet in a Japanese plane.
Yeah.
I don't poop without a bidet if I can make sure that
if I could fist bump you from Franklinite to Franklinite here, because I am with you there.
Like I prefer I'm just to hold my shits at work.
Right. And I'd rather be home. Mm-hmm.
To take a shit, because I know I'm not going to argue the valid points of a bidet again. I think we've all had this conversation probably about.
It's a shitty conversation to have, but
it's a shitty conversation. But sometimes you got to clean it up a little bit. You know what I
Do
mean?
your colon a favor.
Like I choose, I actively choose to not poop unless I have a bidet.
Some employees are like, I'm going to milk that clock. I can shit at work, so I'm going to just do it there. Right,
pay me a nickel, pay me a dime. I'm gonna shit on the company dime, or how's it go? Exactly, I forgot.
That's pretty good, man.
Time, isn't it?
I don't even know. Whatever.
I made it. He made it
on this shitty subject. We're gonna take a commercial break.
Son of a bitch.
Poops.
Wow.
Or Jack can just stay blacked out. Solidarity, man.
Yeah.
Solidarity.
Speaking of things that make you poop,
I can do whatever I want.
So I had planned on doing 3 tours while I was in Malaysia, and the first two went great. Third one, guy never picked me up. So I called the tour agency. They're like, "Oh, sorry, we'll schedule for tomorrow. If you can do it tomorrow." I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I fucker didn't pick me up again. So like I basically had 2 days kind of wasted. So on the second day, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go
wasted for 2 days.
Did you go to sock shopping?
Sock? I didn't do sock. No.
It sounded like when you said it sounded like you were in war because you said I had 3 tours.
Oh yeah, 3 tours. Yeah, 3 tours. A 3-hour tour. But I was like, I'm gonna go to the show.
I did 3 tours in Kuala Lumpur.
Actually, it actually the first
one sock for my entire flight back.
Because I was damn near right at the equator, and I definitely thought
in coach premier seating.
I couldn't.
Doesn't Captain
have
Dan and Forrest Gump warn you about having clean socks?
Yeah.
Or Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan is like always keep your socks dry.
Make sure you have clean socks.
Your feet are important.
It was raining upways and sideways.
Jenny, my socks are dirty.
Even upways.
I'm sorry, Nick. Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Anyway,
keep talking about your
after
Asian
3 tours in
experience.
Kuala Lumpur, you know, it only takes a couple of whacks with the old dirty sock, if you know what I mean.
The thing was rock hard.
I know you try to say anything serious.
Not a very accommodating place to put in. You know, we were. Anyways, on my second tour in Kuala Lumpur.
All right, hold on a second. Let Nick.
I was down to one chapstick.
Well, I was just talking about, you know, so I went to the show and I went and saw Furiosa again because it was like the only thing that I kind of wanted to see.
What is it?
Furiosa.
The Mad Max.
Wingardium Furiosa.
Oh, okay. I did not know.
It works better in Italian.
But I did my normal, like, oh yeah, give me a large Coke Zero and a large popcorn. And I guess they're not used to eating popcorn the way we eat popcorn, because their large popcorn was like a little like mini box. And I was like, the fuck is this?
Chopsticks.
Popcorn for ants.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, what is this? You know, so I was like 20 minutes in the movie, I'm already out of popcorn. So I just had to keep going back.
I've done 3 tours in Lumpur. This is the whole fucking popcorn you're going to get.
I'm here protecting your asses, and you don't have a large fucking popcorn tub.
Popcorn. I want, you know,
I'm going to whack you upside the head with this fucking stiff sock.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't know where this fucking accent came from.
Good morning, Vietnam.
You're doing your kind of somewhat movie review.
My movie voice is rough. I've
that's
seen some shit voice.
Right? Yeah. No, for sure. We know the cliche of the guy that's basically like, I mean,
world.
Well, I think of the
world
Big Lebowski,
with no socks.
Dang sarsaparilla.
The Big Lebowski, John. What's his name? His character. My buddies didn't die face down in Vietnam.
My buddy didn't whack off face down in Lumpur for you to sit here and tell me how much fucking popcorn I can eat.
But yeah.
Oh, Dick Downers.
Nick's like, thanks, guys. I just wanted to talk about a movie review.
I was Dick
I
Down.
was going to talk about that. I think I already mentioned it before seeing, but. I hate that it's bombed because it actually is a good movie.
What movie?
Furiosa. Which is a Mad Max movie.
So was it in English or was it?
It's in English. Yeah. It had subtitles the whole time.
And you were like, "This is just like closed caption to me."
Yeah, but no, I mean it's good. Like
he looks around and goes, "I understand it."
Would anybody else like to discuss the cultural significance of how this relates to the larger scope of Mad Max after the movie?
My buddies didn't die face down in Lumpur for you to read no fucking captions.
Yours is better. Go ahead. You can continue with your review.
No, I'm good.
Oh.
So you
see, I thought I was going to come on here and talk about Paris, and you guys were just going to make fun of me.
But you liked the movie. But it's been panned.
Actually, the reviews of it have been excellent, and like both Rotten Tomatoes, critics and people who've seen it, both of them have enjoyed it.
But people haven't paid to see it.
People haven't seen. Yeah, people have. No one has gone to see it in numbers. Like I think it's just now starting to break even.
You think?
No, I mean there hasn't been one since 2015. I think it's because one, I don't think marketing for it was very good. And I don't know. I don't know why it's not been a success. Like to me, like Fury Road, which a lot of people liked in 2015, I didn't like because I like it now. I didn't like it at the time.
It was too much like Rise of Skywalker.
Well, no, it's just because like like I said this last week or week before last. What this movie does is make me appreciate now Fury Road because. What this is how she got to the beginning of Fury Road. It gave the necessary backstory.
Well, who's in the new
one? This is the Phantom Menace.
It's basically a prequel.
Who's in the new one?
Anna Joy Taylor or whatever her name is.
If you turn on your camera, you could see us.
And Chris Hemsworth is
my
in
camera
it.
off?
Oh yeah, I heard he was in that.
Yeah, I think those are probably the only two people you'll actually recognize.
Jack doesn't care; he left.
But because the whole story of Fury Road is basically she takes these women that the main bad guy Fury Road was using as sex slaves, and then drives them out in the middle of the desert, and then they turn around and come back, and then it's like, what the fuck was the point in that? Like, to me, it's plot wise, you're like, that was the dumbest plot ever.
You know what? I forgot about that movie, and you just remind me. It's literally they just fucking drive and drive back. That is literally the movie.
That's the whole movie, yeah. And so, like to me, I was like, oh, action wise, it's pretty kick ass. But I was like, I just didn't get, me. I'm such a plot guy. I was like, what's the fucking point?
Right.
So this movie explains why she drove to that spot. Like it explains like the first probably 40 minutes is her as a child, and then how she ends up where she's at and why she's in the service of this guy. And it's actually a solid movie.
So do you think for someone who hasn't seen it yet, right? Do you think it's worthwhile, or which do you think we should do? Like, should I watch
Fury
Road?
No.
And then go see Furiosa?
No. The one, because
Furiosa.
Just go ahead and watch Furiosa, because the end credits are basically recapping Fury Road. So where it ends, like if you had not seen Fury Road, as soon as the credits roll, just walk the fuck out.
Walk the fuck out. Turn the shit off.
But if you've seen Fury Road, but you're like, oh, what happens next? It does a really good job of kind of like showing you what's going to happen.
Okay, I've only seen the first three, the good ones. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it worth how competitive? How
So he just said watch Furiosa first, but once the credits start, you stop.
But
it's kind of a prequel
really
almost. Yeah, first three are really good, but a lot of people liked Fury Road.
Yeah,
when it came out.
That was with what's his name, right? And
Who's It's Nuts. Yep. So Charlize
Theron and
she had a really cool look in that movie. I think people gravitated to some of that as well, like some of the atmosphere that it brought back. I think some of that early Mad Max where it is just drive. So
yeah, I watched actually Fury Road on the plane because it was on. I was like, oh shit, I'll watch this now, and it was nice to watch it again in a different. I saw it in a different light.
You know what's interesting? I was watching an interview with Chris Hemsworth about the movie, and he was mentioning he's like it was like a dream come true for him, or so. I'm paraphrasing. I might not be using the
every
same.
Australian actor wants to be.
Yeah, because he's like Americans. They had Star Wars. He's like Britain has James Bond. Like he's like in Australia.
But we have
Mad Max. And it was like.
And he
did my buddies didn't die down under, so I could sit here and
that's like a mix of fucking JFK and fucking
right. What's going on? Boom! Oh, my head! I got a headache.
And that's
back
actually
to the left.
Can we patch his head with a sock? I don't know.
That's actually the thing is though, Chris, is that your accent is probably pretty close to what Chris Hemsworth's accent was in this film. It's one thing to me it was a little bit distracting is he doesn't go full Australian accent. He goes like this nasal kind of New England Australian accent where she's kind of like, I can't do it. It's so bad. But like
why in the first one did they Mel Gibson, why was his dubbed by their actor's voice?
That's a good question. It's probably the same as the reason why they dubbed Arnold Schwarzenegger, in his first ones.
Arnold,
I think
still can't understand him.
No, but like to me, like a global appeal, you kind of want to have a neutral accent. You don't want to have a thick Australian or thick Austrian or anything else. Because like I think it was a female comedian talking about that. It's like, people always say that the Australian accent's really sexy. He's like, really? He's like, then why do they always like make Australian actors speak in an American accent? Can you see Chris Hemsworth going, oh yeah, that's fucking Thanos? He's just like, or something like it's just, like it's not gonna.
Well, I've been watching this YouTube channel called Bush Barbie. She's pretty funny if you haven't seen her.
Who's that?
Bush Barbie. Just search Bush Barbie. She does these little quick sketches. She's a comedian. And it's just the thing she does. Pretty
two different words that I didn't think would go together, but yeah.
Bush Bobby.
Bush Bobby.
That's what she calls it.
Yeah.
White.
I like a
bush.
bush. I like how everything.
Yeah.
I like how everything in Australia always has an E at the end. Like it's just like this anomaly. Basically, like everything's like it's just like, shortened.
I used to want to go there, but the flights went 17 hours. Fuck that.
Yeah,
I can't fly first class and not get slippers.
I mean,
I ain't going.
If I can't be in like a little cocoon thermos, basically like cryogenically frozen, where they're gonna ship me to the Mars, basically, then I'm not going to Australia.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll go by boat.
But you know what'll happen? You'll be.
I will
target.
drive there.
You'll be off target.
I'll take the train,
the
metro. I'm sure there's one.
Why am I highlighting this anyway?
I don't know. It was fun. It was an internet problem.
It was an internet problem, and I'm back.
Internet problem.
Did you guys get this? I didn't know if anyone would get this.
I want a hot dog. I was thinking about it related to the last episode that we did.
On it.
Yeah.
Right. Like the McDonald's.
No, she chokes on a hot dog in the movie.
I thought it was an inside joke with us three and the fact that
remember Chris she choked it and what's his name had one at bat and he had to come and Burt Lancaster had to save it.
And he does the outdated smack on the back, which could have killed her more.
She was choking on a hot dog.
Sometimes you just gotta smack the kids around,
but you can't go back. Yeah, fucking little girl.
Listen here, my buddies and I didn't die face down in the mud, so you can have a hot dog.
He got to live his dream though. He got to wink at the pitcher.
Yeah, he winked at me.
That's not a hot dog winking at you.
Hey. Speaking of bananas, the Savannah bananas. Are you familiar with the Savannah bananas?
Yes, I am.
Is that a Girl Scout cookie?
No.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. So the Savannah bananas, for those who don't know, it's another form of sports entertainment where this a Massachusetts native actually created based on.
There we go again. Ding.
Yeah, whatever. You said San Diego in the first 30 fucking
I said, yeah, people are pissing in downtown San Diego. It wasn't a compliment.
Yeah. So anyways, this guy, he started a baseball league. It's a baseball entertainment or sports entertainment where they're exhibition games. They play and they dance and they have contests. And if the people in the crowd like catches a foul ball, it counts as an out, like that type of stuff.
Oh,
it's like a fun entertainment version of baseball.
It's like that just sounds like a recipe for disaster. Because like, what if it's the Yankees versus the Red Sox and this kind of thing, and the ball is hit directly at? It's just potential for someone getting.
So you're saying like if the Yankees are up and the Red Sox fan goes for it, Yankees fans are going to clobber. Well,
exactly. Because it's like no, he's not getting that fucking out. Fuck that guy.
I mean, that's I never thought about that, but that's kind of cool. Cool context spectating.
Yeah.
But anyways, they've made a name for themselves down in the South. They play like in like almost, I think it's the Grapefruit League. I'm not quite sure what, but there's a few different teams they play. It's like the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. It's a ton of fun, and like if you watch a couple of their clips online, you'll get hooked. But so they've been, they're playing in front of like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people at their best, clip in like the last year or two. But they've really done a phenomenal job of marketing themselves, through social media and getting a lot of exposure. They're doing actually a national baseball stadium tour. So they just were here in Boston and they sold out Fenway Park.
Oh, nice.
So pretty incredible to see.
How many fans does Fenway hold? Like 20,000?
No, like 37?
37? Okay.
Let me double check that actually. But anyways, just really cool to see, Fenway Park.
Well, they used to they get because I know Jake Peavy's pitched for him a couple times.
37,755 sold out.
Because I know major leaguers cool sometimes go and pitch for him and stuff like that.
Yeah,
play for him.
Like Bill Lee pitched for him. Spaceman pitched him when he played. They played at Fenway. Probably on acid, but yeah.
You
very
can
cool
pitch
to see
better that way.
Probably.
Happy
5th anniversary of the Blues Stanley Cup win.
Looks like the Cup's going to stay in America again.
Yep.
Jack, can you share this image here that I wanted to share with everyone?
Wait, is that real?
Yeah. So this was a piece of art that we saw at the Louvre.
Hold on a second. I got to go get my sock.
Sure. if you need to. Hopefully this doesn't get us shut down because it has breastfeeding in it. But you guys, might not know a lot about art. You don't have to, or you can know a lot about art. But you also know the proportions of the human.
Like we're not cultures.
You know. Let me finish. But you would know the proportions of the human form and maybe even a woman's breast. Where is this woman's breast coming from? Like, is it the left?
I don't know. I can't get over her ET hands.
Sizes, okay. Shouldn't you be more shocked? This kid has a freaking fin growing out of his head.
Well, he's also itching his foot too.
He's also like 9.
Yeah,
right.
But look at her. Look at her hands. Look at her fingers.
I get
She's
it.
got ET fingers.
We couldn't help but
this is an artist that can't do hands, right?
Or breasts. Where is that? Look at where the breast is.
What's interesting?
This is some total recall stuff.
It's
the
a side
nipple
boob.
is very defined.
It's the side boob.
It's the middle boob.
Total recall.
Yes,
Total recall.
this is a total recall moment.
This is an ancient painting. Okay, this is back when aliens still ruled us, Matt.
I'm telling you. There's no any.
This is when they believed the world was round.
Was round.
And look at her look is like, why are you looking at me? Are you judging
right? Why are you looking at my
judging
right boob?
me?
She does
Not
have
my
some
center
smoky
boob.
eyes though, so maybe some pastor was looking at this.
Eyes to me.
Well, you haven't seen her in candlelight, and during a holy mass. Anyway,
I was going to ask you.
The kid
Matt,
is freaky.
I know. I just wanted to share this because of the location of the breast, because it is just very bizarre.
This, folks, is why you should absolutely be
Lube,
listening to us live, because
of all of the artwork,
really weird for you if you're not here with us right now.
of all of the artwork that I could have shared,
she looks pissed.
So.
Is what
she's like,
it's a 9-year-old. It's a 9-year-old with teeth biting her nipple. You'd be pissed too.
Also, again, I cannot stress this enough. The breast
first
appears
selfie.
to be coming out of the sternum of this woman's chest. There is a left and a right. This woman has a straight up middle chestal protrusion.
Okay. So based upon the evidence as seen and said a piece of art, when this woman turns, I don't know, say 75, where can you point on the screen? Do you think that boob will be?
Oh, okay.
Same spot.
You see where the kid's itching his foot. You see where the kid's scratching his foot.
Yeah. Do you think that's going to be the boob?
I think that's the boob, man.
The center one for sure. I don't know about the lefty and the righty.
Interesting.
So,
and she'll be even more pissed.
She's got this huge long finger right here too, cradling this.
That is a big ass index finger.
Again, of all of the art, I mean, I did get to see Mona,
she's a
Lisa, as well as The Dying Slave by Michelangelo and a lot of other famous artwork. Got to see a Vermeer.
That's what I was going to ask you, Matt. Like, I've been to the Louvre twice, and it's huge. You can't do it all in one day.
No.
Now,
I had an attack plan though. My buddies didn't die face down at the Louvre for nothing.
All right, hang on.
Sorry.
This country for this art.
Damn it. No. I didn't die. My buddies didn't die dick down in Kuala Lumpur for you not to get into this here Louvre.
I was over there for D-Day. And
really?
I actually saw Air Force
Did you wipe
One.
Biden's ass? Because didn't he poop his pants or something?
He did.
No.
Well,
I don't know. Who knows?
Huh?
That's what
it's been edited. Like the first videos that are coming out definitely looks like he was shitting his pants, because it's one of those moments where he's looking at Jill and he's kind of like
she's like this going. She's like
it's kind of like he has that stance like a child does when they're shitting their diaper.
Oh wow!
But when you watch the entire clip, it makes more sense that like they're all about to sit anyway.
He's waiting to see who's going to sit first.
Yeah, and that's what he paused to be like, "Is it time to sit?"
Right.
And,
what was Jill saying?
Leave it to Nick to be the independent view on our podcast that actually is like saying, like, look, this is taken out of context. He's not shooting himself. Anyway, we did drive as we were driving into Paris, though. We did see Air Force One though. The cab driver, look, Air Force One. I was like, oh, that's cool, what have you. But Nick, you were saying though about the Louvre.
You think he's got fucking slippers in that son of a bitch?
Oh,
he's got lots of socks though.
Yeah, and a lot of stiff socks. Anyway, so
Lots of depends.
Lots of
since,
EDs.
Since you're more of a art historian than probably any of us, like to me, I kind of got tired of the Louvre after a while because it tends to be all the same kind of period piece type art. Like you're not going to have Picasso in the Louvre,
right? No, and they did, but they did at one point. So this is an interesting thing. I have a book on the Louvre from the '60s that I got from our local library. Anyway. So they did actually have some more modern pieces, not a Picasso though, because basically he's not French. Get the fuck out!
Get the fuck out of here!
You know what I meant though.
But no, I know what you mean. So there's another museum, Musée d'Orsay, that we went to, which is on the other side of the Seine.
Sick accent, bro.
That was nice.
I practiced a bit.
Like,
listen, I had
a regular temple over here.
I murdered that word Musée d'Orsay so many times. My wife would have to correct me.
Listen, my buddies didn't die dig down in this Kuala Lumpur for you to have to bow down to some other continent accents.
I saw 2 Statue of Liberties while I was there, by the way. So there was one at Musée d'Orsay, and then there was one at the Jardin du Luxembourg.
Wait, I thought we got the original. What the fuck, man?
No, we do have the large one. These were smaller ones.
The picture,
the twins on the first one's on the bridge.
Twins. We are in rare form tonight.
The paintings at the Louvre are they?
They're real.
They're not duplicates.
Are all of their tits deformed?
I don't know if the Mona.
Well, they're scratch and sniff, Jeff.
I don't know if the Mona is real.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't know if the Mona Lisa is real. I do question whether.
Yeah,
I faked it all the time.
I walked into the room. I saw the big people gathered around. I took a picture of the crowd of people gathered around, and you turn around, and opposite of the Mona Lisa is this gigantic Last Supper, not painted by Da Vinci, by the way, but it's huge, and it just takes up this other wall, and so we ended up looking at that. And in the other room, there's some other Da Vinci's that I wanted to see because there were some people gathered around, but they were all kind of like, "Oh, it's Mona Lisa." So I was like, "Hey, there's some other
how they
really
were
cool."
saying it?
Yeah, pretty much. Nobody
in a world
gone wrong. Nobody wants to gather around the Michelangelo dying slave because it's dying slave and
now the Nazis took
homoerotic.
Most of those paintings, right? Right? Am I right?
They stole some art, over the time.
So are we sure that we got the original art back?
Whatever.
They're still discovering stuff. I mean, even all these years later.
I know.
The Louvre is overwhelming. I had kind of a plan of attack as far as like I wanted to see kind of there's kind of more of a famous art wing, which is the Denon gallery. Like it's kind of broken up into 3 different areas. And that's the part that's kind of closer to the Seine River. And that has a lot of the most famous pieces of artwork there, a lot of French famous works of art as well. And so we kind of got through that horde of the crowd, and then we found our way to this like a restaurant within the Louvre. They have several, but this was a sit-down meal where we could kind of sit down and have some food and just collectively as a family kind of regroup after being in the crowd. And the restaurant was actually really kind of quite quiet when we were there. This thing about French service is you have to be patient. There is no you're there to eat. There is no quickness about the French restaurant. However,
customers always wrong in France.
I love the fact that there's no tipping. Like that's the price. There's no option for tipping. That's boom. And away you go. We did.
Wait, are you an anti-tipper?
No, there is no tipping at the restaurants.
Night?
No, there is no restaurant tipping in France.
Really,
I get that, but you express your extreme pleasure of not.
I like that there is no.
It is kind of
what I like about it is the fact that I know that these waiters and waitresses are getting a fair wage, so that the price on the menu is the price that they and that they are doing their job. And I still had excellent service. I still had really great waiters. Nobody was rude to me.
I agree in that I think America is
sure you pay a cover charge.
America, I like that majority of the world. Yeah, exactly. There's no tip. I wish we got rid of tipping as well. And I mean, the only thing I'd probably argue against is if I worked at like a fancy steak restaurant. No, I want my fucking tip because you're getting a shit ton more money for what you're doing. But and then I also like that the taxes are already included in what you're paying. Mm-hmm. So like if it says $5, you're paying $5, right. And that's it.
Exactly, you know? That's it.
So I like that easiness of it, and I get it when people come to America and it's like it says $5. Why am I paying $5.68? You know,
exactly. No, we walked into a Macron shop just kind of off of a street, and it was like a really nice, you know. And I was like, oh, okay, this thing is about 1980. You know, it was like just under 20 euros, and I had a 20 euro spot, and I was just like,
very good year.
I was like, okay, let's go ahead and get a box of these Macrons, and they were delicious. After the gallery, though, after the gallery lunch where I had a croquette monsieur, which was delicious, we kind of went into the more quiet part of the galleries and just kind of took our time. And, you know, I wasn't out to see everything. You just kind of have to go in like, what is it that you want to see here, you know, and just try to kind of see those things and not have to, because you drive yourself exhausted. Yeah. It was nice to be able to walk the grounds of that area and just kind of around that neighborhood of where we were staying at. And just, we didn't travel around a lot of France. We were just kind of in this one area of Paris, and I kind of liked just keeping it to that and not
a lot of pickpockets in France.
Pickpocket.
We didn't run into anything. So
you ever see those girls?
Because merci beaucoup.
Well, when we were there, we were on the bridge where you put the
locks.
The locks on the thing. I think
which they've taken down. All of those locks are gone now.
Yeah, my lock is gone. That's great, which is fine.
Yeah. They were weighing the bridge down. Apparently,
they don't want to.
But our girls were ahead of us, and this guy that was next to us, a French guy, goes, "Are those your?" I go, "Yeah," and he goes, "Those are gypsies, and they're going to steal their wallets." I go, "What?" And so they were trying to ask him for something, and so we ran down there, and then they go, "Oh no!" So they went away. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they were going to steal their wallets. That's what they were planning on doing. They keep asking him questions, and they were like, you know, asking him, you know, to see what was in their wallet and all that different stuff. So yeah, we had to go there. But I remember giving money. I think I said this maybe the last time we were on. I remember in the train station, this guy was asking for money. I gave him some euros and something like that, and people looked at me like I shot somebody. They're like,
"Oh yeah, I remember you saying that."
All the French people were like going. I go, the guy has no legs. I go,
well, it's like you know, when I was in China, I remember in 2005. My national guide, you know, that was assigned to me. That was like one of the very first things she told me. She's like, in all the tourist areas, so like, you know, Forbidden City, Great Wall of China, all those things like that. She goes, you're going to see homeless people. She goes, do not give them anything. She goes, because we are a communist country, we take care of everybody. But these people have elected to not take the government money because they feel they can get more money from begging. And so yeah, and that's what they think. And so they say we constantly discourage this because it sets a bad standard for our country. And so like she was very like, you know, don't let me catch you giving them money.
I know when we were in Switzerland, they would come with every night in the hotel. They'd come with these carts full of chocolate and just all this candy and all that, and cookies and all this great stuff. And we would tip them, and they'd look at us like, I don't know, that's for you. That's for you. And they just looked at us like we were crazy. Mm-hmm. I go, no, that's for you. Well, but the chocolate was just amazing. I mean, it's Swiss chocolate, but
it's the same as like so Malaysia, like, oh my God, it's so cheap compared to every other country I've been in my life. Like I was looking at my credit card statement of like every restaurant I went to, like, you know, their number, it's like, oh, that'll be 5,000, whatever. And you're like, oh, I wonder what this is. And you get back, and it's like 325 on the credit card. You're like, oh my God.
This is the opposite for me.
Yeah, right.
So it's like, oh, this is like 100 this euros, and you're like, oh, okay.
I know in Switzerland, our first meal we went and got McDonald's, just a couple of hamburgers.
Right.
It was $50 American.
Well, that's that cover charge.
I go, can we get some ketchup? And they go, we charge for ketchup.
Extra,
I go, I don't care. I've already paid $50 for a couple of hamburgers.
That's crazy.
Well, I mean, the beef standards are so much higher too. Like I remember, like I always use McDonald's once in every country I go to just to see how it's different. You know, because like they'll have different menu items. They'll have, you know, I just want to see like what they offer. And like I know, like the Australian McDonald's so far has been the best like burger I've had from McDonald's. I mean,
they're the ones who debuted their new burger recipe.
They're cooking the beef patties with the onions, and so it gives it more flavor. But their beef standards in Australia are way higher than the U.S.'s. So I really enjoyed the
because they probably don't feed them as much corn fed. Yeah, it's not.
Matt Tree says gypsy is considered a slur. I'm not the one that used the term gypsy. It was the French guy. I was just repeating what he said.
I know Jack saw it, and I think Chris saw it too. Like, actually the best burger I had was at this place in the mall. The mall was huge next to my hotel. It was 6 levels, and it was just even godly. But it was a place called Burger and Lobster. I was like, how the hell does that work? And I went in, and I was almost like, I want to try a little bit of both. So I said, hey, and I said that you have a burger/lobster roll here. And she's like, yeah. She's like, it's for like people who want to have a bit of both. And so it was a lobster roll, but half was a burger and half was a lobster roll. And it was one of the best damn things I've ever had.
That was my lobster roll.
I mean, I don't know if you know the answer to this, but where did they get their lobster?
Canada. It was Canadian lobster. Yeah.
Okay. So it's likely like Nova Scotia or whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, like they had a big,
I don't think
tank.
I don't think lobsters are very like native to the Kuala Lumpur.
No, I mean it is kind of like it's kind of like this even saying Forrest Gump. Man, I bet there's shrimp all in these waters. Like it's still a big bay, so like they have stuff. It's just the water is too warm for lobsters there.
Right, water's gonna get too warm for lobsters.
They do have a shit ton of shrimp. Though,
they already be cooked.
I mean, seriously,
it was ungodly hot. It was ungodly hot. Like I got there thinking, it was because it's like 82, 83 temperature wise, but the humidity factor was over 100, so it was like 106, 107 every day.
Yeah, our humidity is here now.
And I remember like friends that live in Bangkok when they went to grad school with me talking about how they showered 2 or 3 times a day. I was like, that's just
together.
Crazy. Together. It was awesome.
Interesting.
Let's just say I didn't need a sock. But getting there, I quickly realized why they shower 2 or 3 times a day because you're just so covered in sweat.
You're sweating balls.
Like I said, our humidity is here now. It's just like, God, it sucks.
Yeah.
But we were talking about McDonald's today. We have 2 grandkids spending the night tonight. And so first I gave them $1 each for help me clean up. And so Cindy goes, oh, we can go to the dollar store. So they wanted to go to the dollar store with their $1. I go, they're spending more than $1. Just saying, because nothing's $1 at the dollar store. But anyway, the person, there was one person behind the register. The other girl was on break. The manager kept telling her, saying, "Oh, she'll be done with her break in a second." I go, "We're like, why aren't you working one of the registers?" It was like 30. It was like 30 people deep. The line. It took forever. And the longer we were in the line, it was in the candy section. The kids were like going, "Can we get this? Can we get this?"
The manager's like, "Look, I got to be ready in case there's something shit goes down."
Wait,
right?
So he let the register stay open
just
not attend it?
No, there was one person working the register.
But the manager could have jumped in on break.
I'm saying, I go, do they only have one register open?
Right.
But why wouldn't the manager jump on register?
Right, exactly.
Because he was too busy telling the girl, saying, she'll be done with her break soon. She goes, yeah, whatever. And all she said was, yeah, whatever. And I'm like going, why don't you get on the register, dumbass? So after that, we go to McDonald's, and they wanted chicken nugget Happy Meals, but my grandson wanted a plain hamburger too.
Either.
It was $2 for a plain McDonald's hamburger.
Your help way too much.
I was like going, $2 for a plain McDonald's hamburger.
$2.59.
Oh, it's nuts now. Yeah, everything's nuts. Like,
I
really do miss the early 2000s now. Even that's 25 years ago or 20 years ago.
Man, life was simpler in post 9/11.
1980, prices were cheap.
Everything was cheap. Like just even 20 years ago. So I mean, everything was. You used to have a $1 menu where you could get like half the stuff for $1, and now it's like just getting a plain Happy Meal cheeseburger, a little cheeseburger, is like $2.20. I've said this before. Are you out of your fucking mind?
We used to skateboard when we were kids to the nearest McDonald's, which was quite a couple miles away. But for $1, you could get a shake, French fries, and a hamburger for $1.
Sure.
You can't get that now.
Yep. Times have changed. Things have moved on.
So and I don't like it, man. I don't like it.
Where's that picture?
That's the view from my room.
Was that your third tour or fourth tour?
This is my surprise tour. Yeah,
surprise tour. So that's what you looked at while you.
That's what I looked at, and then of course these buildings are the famous Twin Towers.
Oh yeah,
They
conduct electricity.
This is my hotel here.
Oh, so you're right next.
Wait. I think I can see you.
Yeah.
Go back up there. I saw this.
Why is that man holding a sock?
I guess.
He's wringing it out.
And then, of course,
people the next stop and go, "Is it raining?"
And then y'all saw the photo.
It's raining.
This is one of probably the most touristy spots in Kuala Lumpur, which is it's a Hindu temple, but they have like these rainbow steps, that go all the way up into this cave. And
dude, you sent that picture. It fucking made me exhausted just looking at it. I was like,
"Oh my god!"
Who did you go? Who did you go with?
Wait, you sent that?
I was there for work for the first 4 or 5 days.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I took 4 or 5 days after to.
He was there to get a bride. Okay. Yeah. He didn't want to say
90-day bride
on the podcast, Jack. But there you go.
I actually I got hit on all the time.
Really?
They want some pasty white guys.
Wow. Well, they figured like somehow you got there, so they're like, well, I guess.
Then they go, "You fly first class?" They goes, "No, but I got these slippers."
I might have some shit on them, but
still have toilet paper stuck to the bottom of your
right.
So
I started watching The Gentleman on all yours recommendations, or was it Nick's recommendation? I can't
remember. That was actually one of the shows that I downloaded before I left. But The Gentleman in Moscow.
Gentleman Moscow.
No, I'm not watching that.
Oh no!
Sorry, I'm watching Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman.
Guy, that's a few years old. That's good though.
Okay. No, there's a TV series out that just came out.
Oh,
yeah, it's on Netflix. It's fucking excellent, like absolutely excellent. It's a spin-off of The Gentleman the movie, but it stars I forgot his name. He was the time traveler's wife.
Doctor Who?
Nope. He was in the Divergent series. Theo something or other. I can't think of his name. But anyways.
I know you're talking about. Yeah.
Really fucking great movie. Or TV show rather. It's done in a very much a Guy Ritchie style of shooting. And I'll be honest with you, up until just now, Nick, I thought that was a show you were referring to get me to watch.
No.
That's why I watched it. And
okay.
It's fucking great. It might be my favorite show on TV right now.
Nice.
Really?
Or Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Theo James. Thank you, Matthew.
Because has anyone watched Dark Matters yet?
No.
I tried to watch that when it came out, and I just couldn't get into it.
It gets Theo James, as Matt Tree says. It takes a while to get into, but it gets interesting as it goes along. And it's funny as I forgot it was Apple and they don't stream everything. I go, there's only 6 episodes, and this is how they ended it. I go, this sucks. And because they don't show previews, Apple. I'm like,
I watched the first 2 episodes of that, or first.
That's I watched the first 2 as well, and it's just one of those I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Right.
But you don't. But as it goes on, you start to figure out because they start explaining what's going on.
It's like a 3-body problem.
Exactly.
But with different preferences.
Yeah, 3-body problem gets you hooked
because the virtual reality thing
when they put the gold thing on. I'm telling you, go back and watch it because it's really good.
Jim Mutari is saying the book is great.
The book is great.
So,
and I did start a BSG rewatch.
Yeah,
I saw that.
I think Dennis posted it, and then was it Eric? Eric said he was like, he's a Colts fan. So
I listened to last week's podcast when you guys were talking about that, and I remember reading that comment saying that he just couldn't get into it, the BSG, and I think Matt brought up a very good point about.
Why, thank you.
Right,
what are you waving to?
I don't know the peoples.
Well, no, because the ESG was such a show of its time, in that they did bring in a lot of the current what was going on into the show. Like Matt was talking about last week with the Iraq War and the occupiers, and a lot of stuff made sense of the parallels. And that's also probably one of the reasons why it was so good. But I haven't watched it in probably 10 years. But yeah, I should watch it.
I watch about every 2 or 3 years. And like I said, I get the miniseries is long, so it's kind of hard. But when they get to the shorter episodes, I get right back into it. I think it's a great show, and again, it's character driven. So you love you hate some characters, you love some characters, and I think the story still holds up. And like I said, I think I'm at episode 8 now of season 1, and I just
I mean, I think it's interesting, like especially with Baltar, like how you kind of root for him sometimes, and then sometimes you wish he would just die. You're like, God, you're just an all. That's how good the character was.
That's how I felt about Colonel Ty.
Yeah, Colonel Ty, exactly. Yeah, he's the same way.
I mean, and then by the end, I'm like, I'll take a bullet for you, man.
Yeah,
it's just like
I'll take your eye.
Yeah, and then like there's a lot of characters like Chief. Like there's times where you love Chief, and there's times where you're kind of like, I'm not so sure about Chief right now.
I mean,
Apollo, you want to punch?
Yeah. Worth a watch though. I would.
Like I said, I think Dennis said
I've been tempted to go back.
If you're not into it now,
sure.
He told Eric that. He goes, if you're not into it now, then just move on, because it's just.
I would say the first season has its own flavor, whereas the second season they really start to kind of world build more in the second season. Where the first season they're really, it's like they have their premise and they're pushing forward. Second season world building and things, they get a 20 season or 20 episode arc in season 2, and really there's kind of 2 parts to it. A season 1, your 2.0 and 2.5, and then season 3 I think propels you kind of forward, like it really rockets the whole
Razor.
And then the Razor's in there.
And then season 3 was one solid season, and then they split season 2 and they split season 4.
Right.
But as a fan of the original, which was only one season, it's funny how they did such a great job of incorporating pretty much the idea from the original series, but then just making it fit for today's television, where it's
making it relevant. I mean, making it real. Like, I mean, the old one is basically, trying to be a Star Wars space opera, you know, and kind of making it up as they went along, and it just didn't go very far. And as cool as that is to kind of live in that kind of like the style of that, this, I think, just with the story and the characters, like you said, character driven,
I did laugh. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's all.
I did laugh listening to you last week talking about how the first episode you watched, and I was like, don't say it. And then you said Black Market, and I was like, because that's like the worst episode of the entire series, in my opinion. That's the one.
I just don't hate it, but
I don't hate it.
I get why people don't like it, but I don't hate it.
It's because it didn't progress the story any. That's why it's just kind of like this little niche episode of like, people have a demand for this stuff, and it's like it's just kind of showing that there's another thing besides the military part of the ship.
I would say it was a standalone episode, so it was easier for me to like enter in. Like I didn't have to know everybody or what was going on. It was just it did kind of just live on its own. So as an actual like just single episode to come in on, it was actually kind of an easier one to be like, oh, okay, so there's this dynamic power going on or whatever. I think the worst episode probably is in season 3, as much as season 3 is like my favorite. There's an episode in there that just I just didn't what is happening to my lights?
I was wondering.
Yeah, I don't know why all of a sudden.
Well, the one I watched today was when he first meets Merrick, which is Apollo in the original.
Oh, right.
Which is Apollo, and he's like, "What's a kind of name is Apollo?" You're like, I see what you do, because I like how they take the characters, and like Starbuck is now a female, but she's also tougher than the original Starbuck.
Right.
I think we talked about last week, but she smokes cigars like he did, but she's deeper, because we learn. I guess I can spoil people. We learned that her fiance, she basically killed him because she loved him so much. She sent him, passed him on the flight status. And the episode today was where,
I remember
tells,
people.
Adama.
I remember in 2003 people objecting to the Boomer and Apollo being not Apollo.
I'll be honest. When I first saw it, I remember
I liked it though.
I said, "Wait, Boomer's a girl? What the hell's going on here?" But then you watch it as it goes on. You go, the character is better than the original Boomer because just because back in the 70s, like Matt said, they're just kind of just making up as they go along. It's campy. It's got it. You had certain rules about you couldn't show certain things.
I mean, I liked. I think it makes sense for in I don't know, in that world that you have more, because I mean, without switching the sexes of a lot of those characters, like you would just have this boring all male show with just maybe two women. Like you have the young mechanic. I always forget her name, and
Callie.
And Callie, yeah, and then the president, of course, but then it wouldn't have been the same. I liked that they switched. I even liked that the Pegasus commander was a woman. I thought that was brilliant. Like there was
come on, Lloyd Bridges was in charge of the Pegasus. Yeah. Come on. Yeah, but that's a great episode. That's a great episode because you start feeling bad for the Cylons because they're torturing and what they're doing to number 6.
And that was Sci-Fi's biggest fucking mistake was after that they had such good momentum, coming off of Battlestar Galactica, and they waited too long. They tried to make another series called Blood and Chrome, which would have been a young Adama. That really had potential, and it just didn't.
Yeah, and then they did Caprica as well.
And Caprica also could have been.
It had potential, so it had Eric Stoltz in it, I believe.
Yeah, and of course he was no good in Back to the Future. But no, the problem I had with Caprica was half of it was good, half the storyline was good.
Right.
Yeah. And it was just dragged.
But the stuff with Eric Stoltz was boring.
It was.
So the Sci-Fi, they also did the Dune remakes, the miniseries Dune, which for a while was the only Dune that we had until the most recent Dune adaptations. So but they also did the Resident Alien, which I was kind of talked about as well.
Speaking of Dune, I know Chris still haven't seen it yet, but when my parents were visiting a couple weeks back, I
Farscape.
I sat them down. I was like, "We're gonna watch Dune Part 2." They're like, "We haven't seen Part 1." I was like, "You don't need to see Part 1." I was like, "We're just gonna watch Dune Part 2." And they both really liked it.
Part 2. Speaking French.
No, Sci-Fi did a lot with Farscape in the late 90s, if I remember correctly. That was kind of like one of their
is Sci-Fi still around?
It's still around.
Yeah, still around as a channel, I guess. So, anyway.
On that note, do we want to wrap
on that
up?
note?
What?
Oh,
I don't know. I'm just saying. I think Chris passed out.
He's been
close to.
But the trip was fun. I enjoyed it.
When did you get back?
Yesterday.
Yesterday
at noon.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
And then
and Matt, you got back Tuesday, right?
I got back Tuesday evening, and so this was like a Murphy's Law thing. I had asked this guy to help me install this fan on my attic because I wanted to get it installed before the heat. But it's a solar powered attic fan, so it kind of draws the air out of the attic.
I got that. I have that.
And I have this one spot in my one side of the house where this heat kind of bubble almost is it just kind of sits and it just doesn't go away. And so it's like I'm heading back, like I'm leaving Monday and coming back here on Tuesday or something. It's like we slept there Monday, but we got, I don't know, it's time, jet lag, whatever. So of course he texts me like, "Hey, can we do it basically the morning after I get back?" So I hadn't even had like a really good night's sleep.
Right.
I had just gotten back. I was so exhausted. I was running.
Well, your room's in the attic now, right? Is that?
Yeah. We had redone the attic.
You built the.
And so we have an AC unit up there, like kind of like a little, not a window unit, but like one of those like standalone, you can vent kind of a room.
Those
things are awesome.
Yeah, those are great, and that can work just fine. But this one little pocket, because it's got a west facing roof line that I have, and it just bakes in that western sun. So of course he's like, hey, I can be there at your house on Wednesday morning at 9. And I'm like, all right, let's fucking do this. And so yesterday I was already exhausted, and I'm just like, all of my adrenaline and energy is just squeezed into like, okay, I gotta help this guy, because I'm not a roofer, and my pitch on my attic is like in such a way that it's just like I'm worried that I would hurt myself, right? So yeah, he came out and helped me get it installed, and it's already working. So because today it was 88 degrees, and I was like, it didn't do the thing. And there's nothing that makes you feel great than like problem solving something, doing some kind of work, and then it works, right? Like we've all like
I have a story that happened to me just yesterday. So I'm riding my lawn. I did. I'm falling asleep, not because of your story. Your story is great.
Thanks, man.
I was on my riding a lawnmower yesterday, and I fucking whacked an exposed root from a tree. Sparks are flying and all this shit, and all of a sudden I take the blade off, so disengage the blades, and I drive away. I try to re-engage the blade, and I'm like, motherfucker, this thing's not working anymore. The blade wouldn't engage, and I'm sitting there like, fuck. I saw sparks. I racked this thing up pretty good. Like I had shit to do, so I was like, I didn't even look at it. I started researching like lawnmower repair in the area. People would come to the house to look at it, or the John Deere dealership. Like, yeah, it's gonna cost you $350 to get it here. We'll pick it up, and then it's gonna be 3 to 6 weeks in the shop. And I'm like,
what
the fuck? Like that's
yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Are they rebuilding it?
Well, I have no idea what the fuck they were doing, but I think like these places are definitely outfitted more for like the farmer, you know what I mean, with like the big huge equipment, and they're probably like, fuck these residential assholes.
It's not worth their time.
Right?
Yeah, it's not worth their time, And so I started like looking up like repair people in the area through like Yelp and like all this shit, and then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to Google it and just see what it could be. And I found this video of this old dude in like Kentucky being like, let me show you here how to fix your lawnmower. And he's like, it's going to be one of two things if that blade ain't engaging. So you come over here. No, don't hold that camera. You come down here and look at this with me. And it's like this guy is just going off like, and it was like the most exhilarating DIY video I've ever watched on YouTube. And so I said, fuck it. I'm going to go outside. I looked at the lawnmower, and sure as shit, it was just the fucking belt got disengaged off of all the gears. And I'm like, I can fix this. And I fixed it up.
Makes fun of Southerners.
Did you give him a thumbs up?
I subscribed. I gave him a subscribe. I gave him a follow, wherever the fuck it is on YouTube.
I was fully expecting Chris. Awesome. I was fully expecting that story for you, like, and now I've got.
Here I am. That's fucking funny.
It does combine like Southerners and old people. I mean, who isn't more punchable? But
I gotta find that. I'm gonna send you guys. He saved my ass. But the funny thing is, I didn't even attempt to look at it before I started looking into getting someone to fix it for me. And then when I went out there and looked at it, I'm like, oh my god, this is
my first thing now is YouTube. I'll just go and say, okay, how do I do this?
Right.
I go, I can do that.
I mean, I do think
that old fart can do it.
I do think like when buying or anything like this thing, I researched the shit out of this. I was like looking at all of these different, and you got to like go through the reviews, and you got to throw out half of the 1-star reviews just because someone is pissed about something and they're just ready to rant. I walked into Lowe's just yesterday, and there's a guy trying to just return something, and he was so fired up, right? And I'm waiting there, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm like waiting, and I'm just like, fuck, would somebody else just come over and open up a register? I see 2 managers talking, just like what Jack said earlier. Finally, this woman comes over and begins to help some other lady who came up, and I'm like, what the? I said, excuse me, and the guy in front of me that's throwing a big fit, he's like, yeah, he was here before me. I was like, whoa, dude, I didn't need you to argue for me.
I don't need crazy, man.
Yeah, I was like, now I know how Christians feel about Trump. I'm like, thanks, but no.
I don't know why why are you arguing that Lowe's and Home Depot have like an easy return policy?
Oh my gosh, this guy was.
In fact, I remember I bought
livid.
a tile cutter, and the woman goes, "Honey, let me tell you what you do." I said, "What?" She goes, "You take it, you use it, you bring it back, and you don't even have to pay for it." I go, "Well, I'm gonna do more stuff." She goes, "Okay, but I'm just telling you, that's what we do here." I said, "Okay," and
that's like Costco.
Hey, you just use something, and just use it and bring it back, and they don't even ask. You can store credit, or you get reimbursed on your card or whatever.
Can we just call them libraries from now on?
So why was this guy? But my point is, why was this guy screaming when they have a great return policy?
This guy would like, based on whatever he had, they could only give him in-store credit, and he was going a little bit. But it's on him for not having the receipt and then not knowing which credit card he put it on. I'm like, that's on you, buddy. Yeah, that is on you. I know exactly which credit card I use to put my shit on, and if I don't, then I make sure that I get a receipt. So but anyway.
People are just nuts,
Chris, I am so excited that you got something fixed, because that's a fun feeling to have. You're like, I fucking did that. And even though I wasn't on the roof, I was in the attic like area, and I was helping the guy and running around and on a ladder and all that shit.
I had one. I just put it.
I was doing shit. Okay. I did 20% of it. Sorry. I'm derailing
when I put mine in, Cindy was really worried about. She goes, "Are you going to fuck up the house? Are you going to fuck up the roof?" I go,
"That's exactly what
I said. No, I'm going to cut a hole in it, put it in, screw it in. It'll work fine." We actually need a couple more, but she just doesn't want me to go on. So.
I had thought about like, well, maybe I might need a second one, but today it was up to 88 degrees and we didn't have the heat bubble, and I was like, and who's the dad of the house? Father's Day is coming up. I better get some Lego sets, motherfuckers, because this is dad sitting on his ass. Oh, it's something easy, you know.
Okay.
What are you asking for? We'll end the show on this. I just
want to be left alone.
Okay, that's simple enough. Chris, you got anything on your Father's Day wish list?
No, I actually forgot about it.
Oh, okay.
I did too. I didn't know till today or yesterday. I go, "Is it coming up?" And she goes, "Yeah," because my wife knows like 3 months ahead of time. She's got it circled.
Well,
I just know that after Father's Day is my anniversary.
Oh, okay. You planned that wrong, man.
Yeah, it was like 15 grand cheaper than like the summertime. So
I get it. I just saying, my anniversary is right before Halloween, so it's like as soon as we had kids, I was like, well, our A day is fucked.
Yeah. Mine's 2 weeks after, not even 2 weeks after. It's 11 days after Valentine's Day. I go,
oh,
do you really need flowers twice?
See, it goes.
It's a double-ended.
It goes. My daughter's birthday, then my son's birthday is in April. My wife's birthday is in May. Or no, but it was my son's birthday, Mother's Day. Wife's birthday, like a week and a half after Mother's Day.
Fuck.
My birthday is 2 weeks later, and it's completely
it doesn't.
It makes like
nothing.
I didn't even celebrate it in May. Like we celebrated it in fucking June. Yeah, and then it's Father's Day, and then it's my anniversary. So
yeah, my wife's birthday is May 1st, and you have Mother's Day 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
What are the kids plan? What do you have making the kids? I go, I'm not your mom. You're not my mom. She goes, you're not doing anything with the kids. I go, I guess I don't know. So now I try to make sure that one of the kids is in charge and say, okay, someone make sure we're doing something for Mother's Day so I don't get in trouble. But I remember her birthday. Isn't that enough? I don't know. And like my birthday, I got 2 of my daughters are born in August. My dad was in August. My granddaughter is in August. It's like my birthday just gets like kicked to the curb.
I feel like, men in general just don't get enough respect.
I know what
You know
I
what's
know.
funny though,
In a way,
because
like
Go ahead
Chris
and
Rock.
cancel me now.
no,
Cancel me now.
my hold on, what's his name?
I joke.
My buddies didn't die. It'll go all that dick down. So I have to sit here and listen to this bullshit.
When Matt's spot on, but when I owned a mailbox, etc.,
I'm spot on.
Mother's Day would come around, and people would like say, "All right, this card has to get. It's just a card. It has to be there by Mother's Day." I go. They would spend like $50 to make sure. I mean, the things that people would spend. All right, it's my mom. It's got to get there. It's got to be. I've made a lot of money during Mother's Day because of Father's Day. Is there a cheaper way to do it? I go, well, there's fourth class mail. They go.
You're like, well, you give me
the cheapest way. Let's just do it.
Send it media mail.
Yeah, it doesn't matter when it gets there. But Mother's Day, it literally people were panicking. They'd be like in a sweat. It has to get there. It has to get there. I can't. Father's Day, fuck it. It can get there. It's Father's Day?
Dad doesn't care.
Fuck, it can get there in August.
Well,
you know what?
Legit,
we'll make it an early Christmas present.
I told the family, I was like, seriously, please don't. I said, if you're gonna give me anything, just give me like a Lego set, like, because then that's something I can do on that day, and I can sit around and watch it.
Do you know how much expensive Lego sets are, Dad?
You're asking for the world, man.
That's your Christmas too, Dad.
Come on, man.
I'm like, it's my account you guys log into to buy the set. I could just look it up, but okay, thanks.
It's like it was the one thing I was gonna buy the new Lord of the Rings tower.
Yes, Sauron.
Because
$600.
Thing is that being in a foreign country on the day it's released, you get routed to that country's Lego shop, and I was like, motherfucker. So like, you had to buy it the first day to get the Fellbeast that came with it as the free gift. And so I had to get on eBay and just buy the Fellbeast by itself so I can buy the tower later. But that was not cheap.
You got a rough life, man.
I know.
And you're not going to build it right away anyway.
No, I kept it in the box.
My son's going hardcore into The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings right now. Like we watched the movies a while ago, but he's gone back and he's also reading. Man. He's reading the Hobbit as well, and then of course he's also looking at places in New Zealand for the tours. Just like, dude,
that ain't cheap.
Like, yeah, I'm like, yeah. We went to France. Like, we're not going to New Zealand anytime soon. Okay, like we're not getting on.
New Zealand would be cool though.
I was like,
I'd like to go there.
The Rivendell Lego set, maybe. Okay, maybe if you save up some money, we can go.
Well, I mean, all those. Maybe. I mean, aside from the Rivendell set and now the tower, they haven't made a Lord of the Rings set in
forever,
10 or 12 years.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a few Hobbit sets come out.
Pisses Jack off. He's just. Yeah,
I am livid.
Well, I mean, like I've only got a handful because they're so old now. I've got Hobbiton, Bag In. I've got Bag In, and I've got Gandalf Arrives, which is just the card and the fireworks and all that shit.
Gandalf Arrives.
And but there's so like because you look at any of the old sets, they're so expensive.
A wizard is neither early nor late. He arrives just at the time he wants to.
My Hobbit buddies didn't die face down in Guam for nothing, man.
My wizards didn't die one down in Kuala Lumpur for nothing.
It's always good to have a running joke on this show.
I mean, is it Dick Down in Kuala Lumpur the episode title, or am I fucking?
I really didn't know that we were going Dick Down.
You know what? I say we do Dick Down.
All right.
I say we do it.
Let the record show.
My podcast co-host didn't die Dick Down in Kuala Lumpur for this bullshit.
Nick's like, this isn't funny.
No, I'm just trying to think of what to say.
Yeah, well, I hope we get canceled.
I've had so many points to say, and then we derailed like we always do.
I still have jet lag, so I haven't been able to think straight. Like, I was driving somewhere, and I turned. I was like, "What the fuck am I doing?" Like, I'm just not.
I went to bed. I went to bed at 3:30 yesterday, and then I made myself get up at 6, and then I went to bed again at 9. And I slept till like 5 this morning, and so I've been up.
Nice.
But yeah, I'll I'll be better tomorrow. But yeah, it'll. It's nice that my boss didn't make me do anything today. But
I just had something. My grandson Hayden, who's almost 4, I guess he's susceptible to. He doesn't have an immune system to fight off pneumonia and other things, so they're gonna have to get him some medicine, stuff like that. He falls asleep in the car. We're going to pick up Ava at school, the final day of her school, and he's asleep. And I got one grandkid is screaming, the other his brother's screaming. They're all he's still sleeping. We pick up Ava, he's still sleeping. We're driving home. We get home or to my daughter's house. He's still asleep, and I go, well, he's breathing, so I'm shaking him. He's not waking up. I mean, he's just like, now we're freaking out. We're like going, get up, get up, get up, get up. I go, wake up. And he's not moving. He's just like, the hell is he in a coma? What? Wake up. Finally, he wakes up and starts crying. He goes, because he didn't know where he was. Well, it turns out he does this all the time. And my daughter and son-in-law never told us.
Oh.
Literally, I'm having a heart attack. I thought he was in a coma.
Yeah, I'm imagining beads of sweat Ava, just collecting.
Yeah. Cindy's freaking out.
Yeah.
Ava is crying.
Right.
We're all I go, and my son-in-law goes, yeah, he does that all the time. I go, and then we told my daughter, yeah, he does that all the time. I go, could you have told us this? I was like, oh my God, wait. And he was breathing, but I'm like going,
right.
Because he was like, his head was like this. And we were joking. We were joking on the way up. Yeah. We're joking on. I go, how is he sleeping through the? Because the one kid's like, and the other one's going, Papa, Gigi, Papa, Gigi, Papa, Gigi, and he's just sleeping through the whole thing. And I go, God damn! It literally, I was like shaking afterwards. Yeah, he does that all the time. Go, okay, thanks for the heads up. Because I'd never seen him. He's been here, coming here for 4 years. 4.5 years. I've never seen it. But I guess he is in a deep sleep. I go, wow. You should ask the doctors. That's not normal. That's not normal.
He's the Darth Vader APAC. I mean,
But I was like going,
superpower right there.
Literally, I was like, we're all like shaking afterwards because we thought something happened to him. Did he get bit by a spider? Was there a snake in his car seat?
Like, did he get a bee sting? Like, what's happening? Yeah.
What the hell's going on? Anyway, I forgot to talk about that.
Sure. No, that's a great way to end the show.
But you know what? If you're a parent,
tune in next week to find out what happens next.
He was dipped down in deep sleep. No, I
didn't want to say it.
But I'm just saying, if you're a parent and you have other people watching your kids, it might be nice to tell them what is going on. But anyway, that's all I got.
This kid didn't go to dreamland for nothing, man.
I did have a question about one of your grandkids.
The show.
I think he just turned
the
10.
Limits.
And I noticed that. Yeah, Zach turned 10. And I noticed that Colleen gave him a Canon AE1 for his birthday, which is a 50-year-old film camera, which I just thought was slightly odd in the digital world. Why would you give a 10-year-old a film camera?
I think that originally was my camera.
Oh, okay. I've got one. It's a great camera.
I could be wrong because I had an AE1 back in the day. I was taking photos of basketball games and stuff like that.
Okay. I just feel like most kids today
I could be wrong.
Take the time to learn between 100 and 600 film and when to use and like.
Well, he's an artsy fartsy kid.
Oh, okay.
So maybe I think he's in photography or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's awesome.
I mean, I did photography,
and he's not a deep sleeper, so I don't have to worry about that.
Oh well, that's a load off.
Because he's spending the night tomorrow night.
But you're still shaking though. I've seen you.
You can still shake him.
Yeah, I'll shake him. I'll smack him around. I don't mind crashing, smacking his face a few times. But no, Grant.
Jack's comments do not represent the rest of the podcasters on this show.
Fuck it. Sometimes kids need to be smacked. Don't want to give them that dreaded timeout. Oh no, not the timeout. Because I give timeouts to the kids, and they look at me like "fuck you." Okay, I'll go sit there for 3 minutes.
You need to put him in a penalty box. You know,
Give me
you're
a
just
sock.
like you're the ref. Wow.
Kind of like that other kid that's
An
been kind
additional
of
3
become
minutes.
the 5th member of the band now. Like he just kind of comes in, like, "Daddy, let me sit here with the mic." Yeah, like whatever, kid, you're not getting in. No.
Oh yeah, where is he today?
He's upstairs.
Yeah,
sleeping?
that's right.
Yep,
We haven't
he's
had
good.
our usual podcasting buddy.
I know.
I mean, it's
Fuck
it
you,
feels like-
Dad.
He's got his last day of pre-K tomorrow. He's excited.
He's like,
Chris shook him, so he's out.
Yeah. He's graduating from pre-K tomorrow. He's
Pre-K, going to
super
kindergarten. next year, man.
Pre-K.
Yeah.
It goes
my
fast.
buddies didn't go to pre-K.
Dig deep.
They were dick down.
I said dig deep, but dig deep.
We have really gone into some. I mean, from the artwork that I showed earlier to
I wanted to
ramblings
end it a
of
while
our-
ago, but you guys said
I know,
like, why
I know. We
stop?
had you had the.
All right,
story too.
fucking end it.
All right, do it. Rip the cord.
Fine.
All right, guys. Thanks for everyone who joined us in the chat and joined
We
us
do
live.
appreciate
Sorry
you
about the
finding us.
confusion in the beginning. That was a clusterfuck, but I'll take the blame. I'll take it.
Wait, well, that's decent. of you.
Matt
we-
Trees didn't dive dick down in the chat to listen to your bullshit about getting this show started.
Well, once we got started, we really kept rolling. So join us next week or whenever we record again. Hopefully next week.
I think I can do next Thursday. Yeah,
Okay.
if that works for everybody else. Or Wednesday. I can do Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah, sounds good.
I'm
I
dick
thought you were going to be
down.
on this podcast.
I'm dick
Jack.
down.
Huh?
I thought you said at the beginning you weren't going to be on this podcast.
No, that's not what I said. I said I have another podcast to do, and I was on Jay's StreamYard. I knew I would have to come back and within minutes to try and I said, you know what, that's going to be a clusterfuck. I'll just ask Matt. Matt's usually reliable, and then I don't know what the fuck Matt was doing. But I'm not throwing anyone under the bus.
I was trying to. I logged in, but it's not there. The link that you was not there, and I'm like, "Where's it at?" And then all of a sudden, I'm there, and I'm like, "Wait, how am I on the link?" So I don't know.
All right.
Well,
fucking end it.
and I will agree with Matt. It wasn't there but somehow Matt and I were on there.
Yeah,
I go, what the fuck's
like
going on,
somehow,
Matt?
like I was clicking along links, and I was trying to log in on this website, and I was like, "Fuck this."
I go, okay, let me set up a new one. And then Chris and Matt, Nick and Chris are like, where we at? Where we at? I can't find it.
No.
Am I right?
Hands reaching out, touching
night.
you.
You touching me.
Did we thank anybody yet? Or?
Thank you.
Down.
Good
Do,
night.
do. All right, guys. Thanks for everyone who joined us. If you want to join us, you can become a patron and all that stuff. I think 4 patrons at this time reach a certain level. Eckhart, Richard Claffler, Maggie, the Magnificent, Joanne with a plan, and Ed, the creepy. Did we have any emails?
No, don't ask that now.
No, there's no fucking emails.
Not that I know of. I don't think so.
Nope.
Maybe we had one in a while, though.
And that was the show.
You see where Coke's over $1,000 a share?
For fuck's sake.
Talking about
Turn
inflation
off
fucking again.
the show.
Rip the
Anyway.
cord. I should be
Any
the
emails,
podcaster.
Matt, Nick?
Nope.
All right, and join the plan and Ed, the creepy poopy letter carrier. Thanks for what you do, and thanks for everyone who joins us live. And next week we'll only have one thread or link or whatever it's called. Hasta luego and good.
Bye.
You're making me sick to my stomach, Chris.
Sorry.
It was like a 90s music.